Welcome to SkyPodcast. Watch out for a new episode every Saturday. You're still a loser because you think you're a loser.
Yeah.
I suck. And then I'll always suck and I'll never get it. You know what I mean?
You're not good enough.
Maybe this string of unfortunate events is actually just, events and you're the one stringing it together.
Yes. Sometimes your mind is trained to look for patterns even if they're not there.
Life isn't always 100% positive.
Yeah. Spiral na to, negative na to. Stop na natin. Yellow from the... I'm sure I've sung that song before.
I don't know why you insist on singing every intro. It's your angst.
Yeah. Yun yung ano ko. Yun yung... You know when I was younger, yun talaga yung gusto ko yung mangyari. Like,
Rockstar, di ba?
Rockstar. I wonder what it would feel like to be on stage in front of like thousands of people and then kumakanta ka. It's your song, you made it, and then ikaw nagsulat, and then everybody's singing that song. I'm sure like all the musicians out there may that one moment na wow.
But to me, that's like my biggest nightmare. Like
Bakit?
to be on stage and like have thousands of people staring at you at that exact moment. I can't.
Si Chris.
It's so funny, no? Kasi
Yeah, you would think, like, sometimes I even forget that you're like that. Because you would think, like, on camera, you're confident, pero...
yeah, but when you're on camera, it's just you alone in a room with a camera, so it's fine. But if you make that into, like, a physical reality na, the number of views you get is actually a person in front of you, hindi ko na kaya. Like, I can't.
Yeah. Ako, parang ganyan din ako. Mas kaya ko siyang, like, to just push through it. Pero, I'm the type of person, and you know this, na each and every single thing that I do, parang self-criticize ko lahat. Like, when I'm on camera, when I'm doing a vlog, I'm always saying, I should have done this, I should have done that. May mga konting-konting tweaks. And then, itong mga bagay na hindi nakikita ng ibang tao.
Yes.
Like, I always tell you na parang, love, hindi ko masyadong type yung video. And Chris would be like, okay lang naman yun. Parang ganyan. And then, when we post it, it's okay. Yung parang, like, ang dami kong mga self-criticisms.
I think that's normal though. Like, a lot of us have that. I have that. A lot of my friends have it. We are really the most critical to ourselves.
Yes.
And I feel like it's actually bad. Like, okay, somehow it's good because we can kind of be introspective and see our faults and improve. But I think at the same time, it can also be detrimental. Because, like, I heard this thing yesterday from a friend and sabi niya, you're still a loser because you think you're a loser. So if you internalize all of
Sinabi niya
these...
sa'yo?
No, parang he read this article. He read this article
Okay.
or listened to this movie. Well, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a book. I don't know. Don't quote me. But he said na parang the more you internalize all of these self-doubt, self-criticism, kaya ko ba to? Hindi ko ba kaya? Pangit ko? All of these things. The more you say it to yourself, the more you internalize it. The more it kind of becomes your reality.
And it's kind of like a downward spiral also. Para siyang roller coaster, hindi naman. Parang snowball effect. Na parang, I get what you mean wherein you can have this negative feedback loop ang tawag yan sa isip mo. Na, okay, it's like you failed at one thing. Or it's like playing sports para mas mabilis. Like, they play tennis and then you hit a bad shot. And then, all in all, parang, and it adds up. So towards the game, wala na, lalong, ka na, like the opposite of in the zone.
Dude, I totally get that because I started to pick up tennis, right? And then usually at the start of the game, when I'm so fresh and the coach is throwing me the easy balls, I'm like, I got this, I'm improving. And then when we start to rally and I super suck, like the more I can't hit the ball, the more frustrated I become with myself. And the more I think, I'm never gonna get this. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And the more na hindi ko talaga siya mag-get.
Yes, and then parang mas nag-analyze ka na okay, it's this stroke. I really can't. I am not moving my feet and I'm not doing this. I'm not focusing on the ball and daming tuloy
And then you get so pissed off at the end, like, I suck. And then I'll always suck and I'll never get it. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if I kind of like just change my mindset and say, I'm going to get in the next one. Like, it's just, I did it before. I'm improving or, focus on these little wins, small wins that you have. Then I feel like it would be so different. I feel like the things that you tell yourself become your reality.
Yes.
Remember a few nights ago, we were watching this Netflix thing and then it was about lies, right? And I told you like, oh my gosh, when I was younger, there was a point in my life where my parents were super duper strict and I would tell them all of these lies, like white lies, small white
Sorry,
lies.
Mom.
Yeah, like when I was super young, okay, like high school or grade school. And then, because I kept telling these lies, I started believing in them.
Yeah.
Nakalimutan ko na yung ano yung totoo.
Yeah.
Nag-toothbrush ba talaga ako? Nag-aral ba talaga ako? Hindi ko na maalala. Kasi parang I kept telling that same spiel.
And
I forgot the truth.
yeah, and whether it's true or not, like parang if you just internalize it and paulit-ulit mong sinasabi sa sarili mo, positive or negative, eventually yung katawan mo parang maniniwala.
Yeah, it becomes your reality.
Oo.
Yeah.
Alam mo yung mga tao na sobrang confident kahit hindi sila, like, let's say for example, para sa akin na wala sa tono. Pero sobrang confident nila kumanta because that's their kind of like the what's they're saying in their head. Like parang maybe I'm a good singer or maybe I know I'm a bad singer but I don't care. Parang mga ganyan na mga So I think it can be a negative loop or a positive loop in that sense. I have my moments. Maybe in a week or in a month, meron akong mga times na I feel really, really low. And I have all these negative things in my head. Like parang, you're not good enough. Yeah, you have all these good ideas pero hindi mo nagawa. Or you're not exerting enough effort. Or parang, it's all like negative self-criticisms.
Yes.
Like, it's never enough. And then, what I would do is like, I'd catch myself. And wait. Parang nasobrahan na to. Balik na naman tayo sa positive side. Like, okay, what do I have that's positive? Okay, I have a lovely family. And we do this from time to time. Like, swerte natin love, no? Like, parang we have a loving family, people that care for us. Like, all these, we're healthy. All these little things na it becomes a positive loop. Like, for example, if if work-related siya, and palagi kong nai-insecure ako kasi palagi kong negative yung tingin ko sa sarili. Ang gagawin ko is like, I'll count what the things are that I'm good at that nobody else can do. Okay, you're good at leading, you're good at motivating people, you're good at this, you're good at that, blah, 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 blah. And then hanggang sa, okay, parang nababalance ko siya.
Yeah, so I think super relatable because whatever you feel that sometimes you're so low and you keep telling yourself all of these bad things about yourself.
Yeah.
I get that too, and a lot of my friends get it too. So I feel like a lot of parang it's normal.
Yeah.
But what I appreciate about you is that you always catch me when I'm in that space, especially now that I'm pregnant and my hormones are really like all over the place. You catch me and you're like, love, like, look, this happened today. Like all of these small positive things na parang that pull you out of your, what do you call it? Parang
yung loop mo,
that
yung
shake
loop mo.
you, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, what was I thinking? Yeah, I'm great, I'm good.
Kasi paminsan when Chris is sharing something to me,
at nakakatch mo na parang, hey, love spiral na yan. Diba?
I don't say it like that to you. You do. Sinasabi ko ba? Like parang, like for example, when I sense like it's a series of negative things, I'm like, love, you know what? I'm thankful for this. At least eto, meron tayong ganyan.
Parang pinuputol niya yung train of thought ko, which is good. And I remember there was a time in our lives, or in my life, that was so, parang a series of unfortunate events. Diba? Like our puppies passed away, etc., etc. Madaming nangyayari in a span of a month. Ang daming nangyari. So parang I was talking to my friend who's a clairvoyant, and you know, she was telling me about all of these things, and she told me, you know what? At the end of the day, her advice to me was very practical. She said, maybe this string of unfortunate events is actually just, you know, events, and you're the one stringing it together.
Yes.
Because in a span of a month, ang nakikita mo lang is yung mga bad na nangyayari. Kasi parang out of the blue siya.
Yeah.
Pero yung 1 month na yun, ilan naman yung good na nangyari sa'yo?
Yes.
Na hindi mo napansin kasi na-overpower siya dun sa bad.
Oo. Ang very, very good example ko sa ganito is when I was younger, I used to play casino. Maliit lang. And it's just with friends and very, very rarely. But the engineering brain in my head is like probability and statistics. Pag, let's say for example, banker player yun, di ba? So, banker. You kind of like see a pattern and then like, okay, if this is banker now, maybe the next one should be banker also or should be player also. Like, ikaw lang nag-a-analyze niyan. Pero sa totoo niyan, walang pattern because
50-50.
every new card is a 50-50. Like, it's like a girl or a boy.
Exactly, I was gonna say. Sabi ng mga tao, girl na yan kasi dalawang boy na.
Hindi, sa probability, if you were to do the probability and statistics, after the 2 boys, kasi nakita na yung 2 boys, the next reveal will also be a 50-50 chance.
Yun na nga but people assume na, okay, nakuna na yung 50 ng boy.
Yes.
So siguro eto, ano na.
Oo.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like, sometimes your mind is trained to look for patterns, even if they're not there. Hanapan talaga, depending on which direction you aim your mind at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to see.
Yes.
That's what will happen. Diba?
Yeah.
Like we always have these conversations na you always interpret situations based on how you want to interpret a situation.
Yes.
Like for example, we have a group of friends and some situation happens. If ikaw, positive yung outlook mo, like tatawa ka sa situation or parang funny lang siya or something.
Yes.
Pero kung ikaw, you're having a bad day, di ba? Parang ma-interpret mo yung same situation na yon as malas or like pinagtawanan nila ako.
Yeah.
Alam mo yon?
And I think that's something that I'm very, very strongly against. I feel like because ang dami kong ginagawa and I feel like if I'm in a spiral, mas lalo akong anxiety para hindi ko kaya.
Yeah.
So what I really do is I catch myself with negative train of thoughts and as much as possible, I cut it off. And it shows the way you walk because you are confident versus the way you walk because you're having a negative feedback loop in your head is different. The way you interact with people is different.
Super.
But this is an ongoing process. Like for me, palagi ko pa rin siya nire-remind, oy, Slater, ganyan. Parang, yeah. So, but sometimes I get to overthinking also. Like, oh, stop thinking about thinking.
Ako naman, gets ko yon. Kasi minsan, if I'm having a bad day, and I'm having my emotional, hormonal moments, all of these things, or parang, a series of bad things happen, I feel like, I'm sure you notice it, the way, when you come home in the evening from work, I'm like, ugh, like, I'm having such a bad day. Like, everything stresses me, everything triggers me.
Oo.
Diba? But then, like, or if you tell me a joke about myself, pikon ako. Lagi akong pikon. Kasi parang feeling ko the world is attacking me. Diba? But parang if positive yung mga nangyayari sa day or how I perceive it is positive, then when you tell me that same joke, hindi ako pikon. Tatawa ako. Diba?
Yeah. Alam mo yung nalilate ka na. Tapos, late ka na, nagmamadali ka na, and everything seems to be going against you. Kasi nakikita mo lahat ng times na dinidelay ka.
Yeah.
Late na tayo. Mga kids is taking so long. Or like, traffic. Or
Nasira yung sapatos ko. Or
parang,
naiwan yung
ito
license.
pa at this certain moment pa. Kasi I feel like, I don't know if this is true, I feel like you tend to notice it more because late ka. Pag hindi ka late, let's say, you're early and nasira yung sapatos mo, parang you don't see it na this is causing me problems. Or alam mo yung you're having a bad day and you spill your cup of coffee. Parang lalo siyang
Yeah. You were telling me about this book that you read once about the lobster.
Yeah. Si Jordan Peterson, The 12 Rules of Life, something like that. Yeah, parang ano siya, a lobster when it fights with another lobster and it wins, nagbabago yung wiring niya in his brain.
Like so, scientifically, the brain changes.
The brain changes. Like, iba na siyang lobster na yun. Na parang it can be more confident and like, iba siya maglakad. And then when it goes to another fight, it's most likely to win. Yung losing lobster naman, parang nagiging inferior siya.
May inferiority complex.
Hindi siya parang, if I were to put parang posture, mas nagsaslouch na siya, as nagbabaw na siya, and it's expecting to lose the next fight, basically. And it's an ongoing spiral going down, and the winning lobster going up naman daw. So parang, that's why in his book, I think this is rule number 1, stand up tall. Basically, sinasabi niya, show confidence, and people will treat you confidently, and you become confident because of that. And then it's a spiral. It's a loop.
Alam mo, ano yung naisip ko in that story? Yeah. The winners keep winning and the losers keep losing, basically, right? Naisip ko si Joey tsaka si Chandler.
Bakit?
Alam mo yung sa movies, when a guy scores, di ba parang yung it's always happy dance after, di ba? Comedy na ganun. Eh, sa Friends, Joey always scores, right?
Okay.
And then he's always confident in getting the girl and he always gets the girl. And Chandler always makes fun of himself for not being able to get the girl.
Yeah.
And he never gets the girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you believe in like the self-deprecating humor affect that?
Yes, in a way, I do. I mean, it depends.
Siguro
It depends.
kung
If you really,
naniniwala ka.
yeah, exactly. If you're self-deprecating because you just want to be funny, but you know you're great.
Yeah, you know it's a
fine.
joke. Like, yeah.
But if you believe it, I'm so lame talaga. Magiging lame ka talaga. Di ba? So, love, when you're in your downward spiral or when you're doubting yourself or thinking about all these negative things, ano yung process? Like, paano mo ma-call out yung sarili mo na, uy, tama na? How do you know? How do you know?
I have no, whenever you're trying to achieve something or we're trying to better yourself, we mentioned this in the past podcast, the last few seasons, like there's the 1/3 rule. You're supposed to feel bad 1/3 of the time. Because if you're not pushing yourself, you won't feel bad. Kasi parang, steady lang yung buhay, ganyan. And,
Ako ba yun?
hindi naman, napupush ka naman palagi. Chris is like hyper, but, so I kind of like accept that. And I'm gonna feel inferior a little bit. I'm gonna feel like a beginner, which everybody hates. That's why as the older we get, we tend to not do new things because that beginner feeling is like, I should know this kasi kaya niya eh.
Or it's like yung mga dads natin na kung may bagong cellphone, uy anak, pakiayos. Ayoko na. Or like me before, ayoko na mag-TikTok, di ko gets.
Yeah.
Or ganun. Yeah.
Or si Chris keeps on making fun of me about this kasi nagtatype ako, sobrang bagal ako mag-type sa keyboard. Like 20 words per minute where an average normal person would be like 40. Si Chris is like 100, 130 words per minute. Like,
he's so
bilis.
impressed that I can type fast.
So, palagi ko sinasabi sa sarili ko, bakit it seems so natural kay Chris? Like, whatever I say, and it's about the same pace. Like when I say, quick brown fox jump over the lazy dog. Like, parang matatype niya yun, jumps over the lazy dog. So, what I've been doing for the past few months is
proudly,
I bought a nice keyboard para ganado ako, and then I've been typing.
He bought like 4 nice keyboards.
Para try out lang, hindi naman siya super mahal keyboards, but try out lang. And then, parang I've been practicing, and I really feel like, saan na ulit yung letter K? Saan na ulit yung letter P? Should I use my pinky? Should I use my... So, ang dami mga ganito, and slowly from 20, nagiging 40, and umabot ako ng mga 60, and then my best time would be like 80, and then, love, galing ko na. Can you try, love? Kasi I want to beat you. And then she sits down, first test ever,
the new
fresh,
keyboard.
Din naman.
New keyboard yun,
yeah,
first time ko
fresh, and then parang, di ba, walang warm up, upo, 100 plus. Parang, I've been practicing for 3-4 months, tapos ikaw sobrang bilis.
To the point, guys, na yung birthday cake ni Slater, keyboard na. Kasi every time I go to his office, nagpo-practice siya mag-type.
Yeah, so that was the vlog. Pero bakit keyboard yung... So, ang naisip ko kasi is because I type so slow, I don't want to work on the computer. So that's what I'm trying to practice. Na I'd be more efficient, and then I can actually write scripts for my YouTube videos, and I can reply to emails very, very long na I explain myself better. Kasi palagi ko ginagawa is, alam niyo mga sila daddy mommy na shortcut lahat.
Yeah.
Because...
Ultimo Starbucks. Walang S. Shortcut.
Because I think, this is me. I do this because I don't want to spend too long because I keep on looking at the keyboard and click, and then look. Okay, sakto. Click, and then look at...
This is so, like,
Boomer.
Tito.
Yeah. So, that's why I'm practicing. And it's frustrating sometimes na parang, si Chris, sobrang bilis. But that's because I never intentionally practice typing. And I intentionally shorten everything that I do on the computer because... To avoid it. And you have been doing it for years and years, replying to emails. And
I used to be a blogger. I used to type.
So
or write all my papers.
Yeah, it's essentially that's the beginner feeling. And I could easily say, hindi ko talaga to talent, hindi ko na to gagawin. Yeah. Parang ganyan. Or I can do the other way around where, hey, I'm from 20, nasa 25 na ako. And I keep on telling you this. You know what, love? Every week I spend practicing, meron ako mga 3 to 5 words per minute na nag-i-improve.
Yeah, and he's proud of himself, which is nice.
Parang slowly, so I kind of make it like a game, and like, so I kind of relate it to like trying to improve yourself and this negative feedback, because that's also what makes you quit. If you kind of like, I see her and she's so super fast and
Ayoko na.
ayoko na. Like, ang layo. Pero ang iniisip ko is, I don't measure myself against you, although kind of like secretly competitive ako sa dyan. But I measure myself to my past self.
Yes.
Like, oh, wow, I can actually type now without looking at the keyboard ever. I'm still not at where I want to be, but I can now compose emails and not be frustrated.
Yeah.
And hindi na siya naglilimit sa akin yung pag-type. So,
You know, that's something that I admire you for, love, because you always are a beginner at a lot of things. Ang dami mong hobbies and you don't make that frustrate you. It challenges you. Diba?
I
Like,
think
that's
so,
hard. Like, for me, you know, I'm the opposite. Diba? Pag bago, ayoko talaga. Ayoko ng bagong camera. Kahit na sirang-sira yung camera ko, ayoko ng bago. Ayoko na mag-learn ulit. Yung learning curve, parang I'm so set in my ways.
Yes.
Very low. Ikaw tito, ako lola. Ayoko na talaga. Pero ikaw, game ka to keep learning, even if it's uncomfortable for you.
It's fun for me. Like, parang it's just discovering this new world. Oh, new world about keyboards. Meron palang mga switches niya na soft, hard, tactile, may mga ganun.
Pero yung question ko for you is, you mentioned na 1/3 sad, di ba? 1/3 sad ba yun?
One third you feel bad about yourself.
1/3 you feel bad about yourself. So ano yung 2/3 and 3/3? And paano mo malalaman na okay, hanggang dito lang ako maging sad kasi 1/3 na to. How do you know na 1/3 na yan?
Hindi naman. It's just a feeling that, okay, this is kind of like a healthy paranoia or healthy anxiety na it pushes you forward. I feel uncomfortable also when everything is going too good for too long. Maybe I'm not seeing something. I had a conversation with one of my business partners. Sabi niya, like, nahihiya daw siya paminsan to keep on saying negative things about our projects and everything. Sabi ko, I actually get scared when I have an idea and nobody disagrees with me. Because it cannot be that simple. Like, for a house to be well laid out, to be well designed, meron talagang discussion. There has to be some sort of disagreement for it to be well thought of. Hindi naman siya, okay, latag ko to and then sakto agad on the first pass. So, I kind of feel that that's just part of it and accept it that, hey, this is just part of the cycle of life. And the more you accept it, it still feels bad, but you don't feel bad about feeling bad anymore. It's just
Tanggap mo na.
part of the process. So, I think that's it. And like, I get little nuggets of like, okay, it's been a train of thought for a long, long time now. And meron man talagang times na we feel like malas, we are unlucky, this thing that has happened shouldn't have happened because I did my part. Parang ganyan. And life, hindi naman natin mape-predict. So, what I do is I start from the very beginning. Like, okay, today, masarap yung coffee ko. Today, I am thankful of the good weather. Today, hanggat sa becomes bigger things. Like, I married the right person. We're about to have another baby where like parang like si Scotty nag-hug sa akin and we have a good relationship. Si Toby super cute and like parang like all these things like binibilang ko lang talaga. And if the thing that I'm sad about is work, like
It's just one aspect of your life.
iniisip ko like, okay, you are where you wanted to be 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so stop feeling sorry about yourself. Like nagawa mo to like you had the skill set to be where you are right now. So you just have to learn more or parang it's more of like positive self-talk.
So I guess when you're in that kind of negative feedback loop, the first step is to accept that life isn't always 100% positive.
Yeah.
There's always a part of our life that's going to be down. It's an up and down, and that's the cycle of life.
Yes.
So once you accept that, now you have two voices in your head, right? It's either I'm gonna let this downward spiral continue and I'm gonna believe that, I'm such a bad person and bad things will happen to me. Or that other voice in your head, you can switch, you can choose.
Yeah.
That other voice in your head that chooses to look at the good things that are happening in your life, what you've achieved, all of these small wins, and focus on that.
Alam, may analogy lang ako naisip while you were saying that. Alam yung paminsan na alam na natin, parang mabaho yun. Tapos, ano pa rin natin.
Keep smelling
Yeah, you keep smelling it. Mabaho ba? Mabaho ba? Mabaho ba? Mabaho
I
ba?
hate it when you do that to me. I
Alam
would
mo
say,
na yung
don't let
mabaho
me
na
smell
yun.
it.
Or, so,
If it stinks, throw it away.
so, sometimes, we have this train of thought na parang negative and negative and negative. And then, we kind of like entertain it. Like, alam na natin that we're thinking negatively. Pero parang, it's like, parang,
A wound that you keep
a scab na you
scratching.
keep on scratching. Or
When
yun,
you know you're
nabaho
not supposed to,
oo.
yeah.
So parang, I kind of learned eventually na putol. So, parang it's like watching a movie na pinutol mo na wala ka ng ending. Like, so, you're watching a movie, ang hirap, like, it's a good series and parang, it's like scary and not healthy for you na anxious ka. But you just have to look at ano ba yung ending.
Oh my God, that's what I did last night.
So parang it's a bad movie or whatever. Like parang ang gagawin mo na lang is just to learn how to just switch off the remote. So I kind of do that. Like
You are so good at that.
Parang pinuputol ko talaga, like wala siyang ending. Like alam ko na tong spiral na to, negative na to. Stop na natin.
Yeah, you are so good at that. Even with like random things.
Like how?
You're so
Why do you say?
easily able to detach.
Yes.
You're
I
so
think,
good at that. Yeah.
No, but it's a skill talaga na ginagawa ko because I kept feeling so bad. Na eventually over the years, like, wait, this isn't doing me any favors. I remember my mom saying to me na, if you have a problem and you can't sleep, losing sleep over it doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
So why don't you just sleep and just figure it out the next day?
Yeah.
So parang it's a lot easier said than done. But that's kind of like the concept behind it.
Yeah.
So
You know, it's funny because the younger we are, I feel like the more we overanalyze and overthink every single thing.
yes.
Because my dad told me that same thing that your mom told you.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're older and you have
So you're
gone
saying
through a
I'm
lot.
older?
No, parang you're wiser. No, because recently I also have this situation with a younger friend or acquaintance na parang lahat na lang ng maliliit na bagay, ina-analyze niya. Like,
Yeah.
mali yung isang pindot niya sa keyboard, ang laki ng reaction. Parang, chill out. Okay lang yan.
We were talking about this because like no matter where you are in life, like in social media we see a lot of people as if they're like the best life ever. Pero kahit saan pa, kahit ano pa yung like the mind just wants to find problems to solve. And this is like a good thing also because when we find problems, we tend to fix it. I think in the grand scheme of things, we are built a certain way because we are made to make things better. I think it's just a matter of like looking at it from a different lens, I would say.
Agree. And don't be too hard on yourself. Like, if you're having a downward spiral, if you're in a negative feedback loop, it's so natural.
Especially with pregnancy. You have those moments where it's like love, love, love.
But then, like, when I catch myself or when Slater catches me and like, hey, then I realize, oh, it's my hormones. And then, parang, I don't beat myself up over it na, I'm such a bad person for thinking this way.
Yeah.
Bakit ka nagre-reklamo? Swerte-swerte mo na nga. Parang,
Yeah,
you don't
hindi naman
add,
ganyan.
you don't add to it. It's just, okay, I see it, I reflect, I stop it, and then I forgive myself.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Importante sa ganyan kasi sometimes like when you're in a negative feedback loop and then you're just adding bakit ang negative ko?
Yeah.
Parang
When you're not allowing yourself to feel a certain way,
Yeah.
diba?
But
Hirap
don't get us wrong. Kami, we have our moments where in sobrang
So
hirap to
hard,
dig
yeah.
yourself out of that hole. Especially if it's like a series of events. There was like months na both of us, and especially you, yung parang may series of unfortunate events na nangyayari,
Yeah.
big moments.
Kaya nga I called a friend na.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Phone a friend na ako.
And those perspectives that are parang sometimes it's just a matter of getting other perspectives. Like yung friend namin, like there's this wisdom about her na clairvoyant would be the proper term. Chris was expecting maybe maglagay ka ng incense dito.
mag-sage
or
tayo,
mag-sage
ganyan.
But yung
May bad
advice niya
spirit.
advice niya was very practical. Look at it from a different lens. Maybe it's not about it's not a series of unfortunate events. It's just these things were highlighted.
Oo, or minsan kasi parang isip natin the world is against us. Hindi talagang the world will be against us when that shouldn't be the focus. Or minsan isip natin na everyone's looking at me, everyone hates me.
Yeah.
Pero hindi.
Yeah.
people have their own problems. People don't care.
Yeah.
Life goes on. It's just part of life. So parang, just to put things into perspective and realize na you can cut that train of thought.
Yes.
You can move forward.
When you have a series of unfortunate events, we count the blessings of, meron naman din tayong series of okay.
Yeah.
Or good.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. High five, love.